Good morning, gamers. It is March 30th, 2025. About 4 or 5 months ago, I said this: run sign up. B&A Trail Marathon, March 30th, 2025. I signed up because I'm gonna do it. So that means I am gonna run the marathon today. I haven't vlogged anything, kinda got tired of vlogging for a little bit. Probably not gonna pick up vlogging again right now, but I left y'all off on a little cliffhanger. I don't know how much I'm gonna vlog during this marathon. IT band's still a little interesting, so I'm praying for my IT band today. Other than that, yeah, feeling all right. Let's get this marathon going. Starting late because I had to take a shit. All right, let's start. I'm in the very back of this marathon because I really had to use the bathroom, and I'm glad I waited because I did really have to use the bathroom. Yeah, I'm just going slow because my IT band on my very last long run started acting up. So, like, my training was good until last long run. 3 miles in. Long distance running sucks. Why do I even do this? Nah, it's great. Mental. I gotta mentally prepare myself for the next 23.2 miles. This is great. I can't wait to do more. Halfway done. This is the worst vlog ever. I'm sorry I'm not recording anything, but it's because I'm locked the fuck in. This really hurts, but I'm at mile 19 and I'm still running, no IT band problems, no knee problems. So I'm taking it home now. I can see the finish line. We did it. We did it. Woo! All right. Welcome to the vlog. It's been a few days. It's Friday now, but it's been a few days since the marathon, since that was Sunday. I'm sorry I barely vlogged anything. One, it's because I am now just super not used to vlogging, and I wanted to vlog, but I didn't also really want to vlog, so it wasn't really that great. I got the medal right here. Peep that. Annapolis Striders, Baltimore Running Festival 2025. Yeah, I'm not like super good at vlogging anymore, but I decided I can give y'all a race recap. I can show some of the stats. I hope it shows up on my phone. But I'll give you a race recap. I'll show you all the stats and kind of just talk about it a little bit. So, quick stats. We got, I'll show you this first. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll read it out. Took me about 5 hours and 20 minutes, which is a PR from my last one. I'll let you know the last one was 6 hours and 20 minutes, so pretty much an hour PR. Granted, I was injured and I had to walk 15 miles of my first marathon. This marathon is, I would say it's a success because no IT band issues, no injuries. I'm feeling pretty fresh now after 5 days. Now it's Friday. Really excited to get back into running, mostly because I didn't have any IT band issues, and I think I hopefully have solved that problem, which was my biggest thing. But yeah, even though it's a slow 5 hours 20 minutes, I call that a success, because now that gives me hope that I can continue to train those long distances, which were my main problem, and do a better marathon in the future. I mean, it is kind of interesting, my times. You know, the marathon is definitely my worst race distance. If you look at my 5K, which is 23:40, my half marathon, which is an hour 56, and I wasn't even like all out. It's strange that my full marathon is as bad as it is. Like Seiji. Say hello to Seiji. Hi, Seiji. What a cutie. Yeah, it's weird that my full marathon was as bad as it is, but honestly, I attribute that to the lack of training I did for this marathon, and just the fact that my long distance training in general has never been great because of my IT band. So I can kind of get, let's rewind the clock. Let's go from the beginning. I posted my last vlog in like October or November or something. That was the McRib consumption vlog. McRib eat through. What a great vlog. I pretty much just got tired of vlogging. My goal was just to vlog for a whole year, and I pretty much did that, so I was kind of done with it. It got a little repetitive, and I wanted to take a break, and it just felt nice to do things without having to think about vlogging them. And then I just never picked it up again because I wasn't really doing much anyways. After my half marathon PR, which I posted again in, I think, November, an hour 56 minutes, I kind of fell off running a little bit. Partly because it was getting cold out and it was harder to run in the cold, but also partly because I didn't really have a great goal, or I didn't really have goals that I was working on at the moment. So I posted that vlog, which I showed as a flashback in the beginning of this vlog, that said I signed up for the BNA Trail Marathon and it was gonna be like the thing that motivates me. That wasn't necessarily true, because after, I guess shortly after that vlog, I hadn't really been training. After the half marathon, I hadn't really been training. So December, I think I ran once. January, I ran twice. And honestly, like, partly because of the weather. I know I don't want to make weather like an excuse, but like, it just was so hard for me to get up in the morning and do morning runs. And then I went on a vacation at the end of January. So yeah, pretty much December, no run. January, no running. I got back from my vacation, and I had all of February and all of March to train for this marathon. I knew I had to lock in, so I started pretty much running again in February, because it was only a 2-month training plan, and I didn't want to do too much and hurt myself, especially with my IT band, accelerating the mileage too fast. I didn't want to hurt myself, so I only topped out at 15 miles as my longest long run. I didn't do any morning runs because I was on a really good hot streak of morning runs, but lately it's just been harder for me to force myself up in the morning to do morning runs. So I haven't done morning runs. I was having a pretty good training block up until my very last long run before taper. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Let me also try and raise this. Can I raise this? But yeah, before my last long run before taper, I can't raise that. I actually ended up having IT band issues. So pretty much every time I would have IT band issues, since figuring it out on my last training block, I would correct my form and solve that. Sorry. So what was happening, what I believe to be happening with my IT band was my foot strike on my right foot, because my right IT band. When I would start to feel it act up, I would focus my form to put more weight on the inside of my foot, like press down hard on my big toe and not let the weight be distributed on the outside of my foot. But when I went on this last long run, I tried to correct my form and nothing was working. It was still starting to act up on my IT band outside here, and that worried me. Like I had to do like walking intervals. It was only a 10-mile run too, and that worried me because I was afraid I was gonna run into problems and not be able to actually run this marathon. Now, I believed that, or I had come to believe that it was actually my shoes that were causing my problems, because I was using Nike Invincibles, Nike Invincible 3s, and they have like a 9mm, heel toe drop, and we throw back to the beginning when I was solving my problems. I had gotten zero drop barefoot shoes, like minimal padding and zero drop, and I was able to use those to correct my form, and diagnose the problem, and run like 15 miles for the first time after not being able to run at all that long because of my IT band. So I had hypothesized, okay, I'm gonna need to run this marathon. I need to grab some zero drop shoes with cushion to run this marathon, because I can't use these zero drop barefoot shoes to run the whole marathon because it'll like kill my legs. So I went and bought Ultras. I can grab those really quick. I'll pause this recording, and I'll grab those real quick. Or I'll just leave it. Nah, I'll pause it. These are my Nike Invincibles. They're very cushiony, and they keep my legs fresh. They make me feel really fast. But I think training in them, I had run about 200 miles through February and March, so about 100 miles a month. And these were my main shoes during my first marathon training block. I believe these shoes interrupt my form enough to give me IT band issues. The reason I say that is because I bought these Ultra shoes which still have like a little less foam than these, but these have 0 drop, so the amount of foam in the heel is the amount of foam in the forefoot, so it gives you a more natural like foot strike, but it's a little less comfortable. You got to get used to it. The reason I say that is the solution, or that is what worked, is because I ran 26 miles in these shoes without making my IT band upset, which is something I've literally never done before. So that makes me hopeful for the future, because I hope I can actually get like a whole solid real marathon training block with running up to 20 miles a couple times during the training block, because I really want to give the marathon like a real shot. These are Ultra Rivera 3s, by the way. You can see the Rivera 3. I want to actually give it my all on a marathon. This marathon, despite not having IT band issues, was still hard. 1, because I had only done the 2-month training block, and 2, because I've pretty much wore these, which I had not trained in, so my legs were much more sore, because these don't have as much foam cushion as these. So that is what I attribute the difficulty of this marathon to. I want to, I mean, I said it, I want to do another marathon, even though every time I've done these last 2 marathons, they've been very grueling and brutal and the hardest thing ever. In my opinion, people might argue like what is harder, like a max effort 5K, which is pretty much a sprint for 3 miles, which is very hard, or a max effort marathon. I think a max effort marathon is much harder than a max effort 5K. I'd much rather do an all-out 5K than an all-out marathon. Sorry, got a little barky out there. Yeah, though, that is my update. I want to run another marathon, and I want to run a big one. I'm targeting the Marine Corps Marathon in the end of October. 1, because it's a good course. It's pretty flat. 2, because it's a big marathon and I think it'd be like a fun event to go to. And 3, because one of my old coworkers said he might be trying to do the same thing. So it would be cool to run a marathon with him. Even though he's much, much faster than me. I am not going to jump right into a running plan, just because it is still so far away that I can just do a month or 2 of just running freely without any plan. But I do plan on getting my mileage up, so I just want to get that base mileage up. Like, I had really only ran like 25 miles a week at my peak for this training plan. So that is, of course, another reason why my marathon time wasn't great. But yeah, recap, because video was long and rambly. I did the marathon, no injuries, felt really good. I got new shoes, Ultra Rivera 3s, which I hope and I believe will help me run without getting IT band injuries. And 3, I'm aiming for the Marine Corps Marathon in the end of October, even though it's not official or anything. I didn't sign up yet. Sign-up's not even open yet. Yeah, now I can give the race recap. I got there, it started at Severna Park High School. I had to use the bathroom. I was not going to start the race without using the bathroom. So the race began and I was actually still in line for the porta potties, which honestly I don't care. I would much rather start running on an empty stomach, empty bladder, um, empty bowels, then start with everybody, even though that would be fun. I had to empty the bowels, so I did. I'm glad I did. I ran, 10-minute per mile pace. It was pretty chill. It's a very flat course. I'm running in a different area right now for training, and the hills are insane, like way hillier than my old training area, like 4 times as hilly, 3-4 times as hilly, literally. Literally. So like hills for me are no problem now. But this was a very flat course. There were some competitors there. There were like people from like the Navy Marathon Club, which is cool. But I was there just for myself. Pretty easy up until mile 9, to be honest. 9, 10. No, honestly, like mile 11 is when it started like becoming more of a challenge, and really it was like a big mental challenge. Like it was not physically that hard, to be honest, but mentally it was like the hardest thing. It was so brutally hard, like mentally. Around mile 13, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm only halfway done. So that like mentally took a toll, because like my legs were sore from wearing the new shoes, and I had blisters, which I'm working on preventing that. I had taped my toes, and I don't know if I taped them right, to be honest, so that may have caused some blisters. So I'm still experimenting with that, but I had blisters and my legs were sore, and my legs were also tired because I didn't really have a great training block. Miles 14 through 18 were super brutal. I was just like doing a lot of running and walking, like run, walk, on and off, just because like I was mentally tired. But then I hit the last turnaround point at mile 19, and I got a second wind, so I was able to actually like run faster on the way back. And I finished at 5 hours and 20 minutes. Like my average pace was like 12 minutes per mile, I'm pretty sure. But I feel like my average pace was 12:08. But I think my average running pace was like 10 minutes per mile. Just because like with all the walking breaks I did, it got to 5 hours, 20 minutes. But if I didn't walk and I ran through, I could have finished at like 4.5 hours. But that's obviously a big what if, because I haven't trained for that. So I laid in the grass for a while after that. Drove home, ate a banh mi and summer rolls. It was very delicious. I'm always thinking like, when I'm in the marathon, like this is gonna be my last marathon. I'm not gonna do it again. But I think I just found out I really love running. So I definitely want to do another marathon, and I really want to give it my all this time. Or I really want to give it like a real chance. I want to do a real training plan where I get up to like 20 miles and run 20 miles a couple times. I really want to do a real training plan where I get up to, like 35, 40 miles per week at least. And I want to really give a marathon my all. Because I think it'd be fun to, start with people in a huge event and run with all the people and finish with all the people. So we'll see. Running's been great though so far. Back on it. I think that's the recap. That's the long recap. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing regular vlogs again, just because they're more work. Granted, I do like the video diary aspect of it. I do like vlogging, just for myself, to be honest. Talking about things, and I do like recording things. Um, Even though it's kind of like maybe not for the best reason. You know, sometimes you get that feeling like, if I didn't record it, I didn't do it. But I know that's not true. But I guess I like sharing the stuff I do because it makes me feel like if people enjoy it, then it matters more than if I just did it for myself. Which makes me feel like I'm helping people or doing something important. I don't know. But we out here running. Um, stay running. If you like running, stay running. Stay doing whatever you like doing. Uh, that's today's vlog. Sorry again for no marathon footage. I was mentally being brutalized. But that's all. That's all for today, folks. I will talk to you when I talk to you.